Some of them be like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You're scared? Fuck. I didn't even look at the screen. No, because people are gonna think I'm fat phobic or something, man. I can't be reacting to this shit. You guys think I give a fuck what y'all think? Let's watch this shit. Hold up.
The people who are telling people go.
Let me know if you want me to turn it up or down.
A Lizzo who's saying accept me the way I am.
She's not just saying accept me the way I am.
No, I'll be that kindly. This is a bias. This is unbiased.
Scantily clad, and then saying if you don't think that it's normal for
a
morbidly obese person to be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem.
Wait, I lowered it in my headset, but I turned it up for y'all. Let me know if this is better.
Fat or skinny is a choice. Agreeers?
What do you guys think? Let them start talking for a second. Hold on.
Of course, not every factor is purely choice. I don't think that every factor is, but I do think a majority of it is.
Wait, so what is it? The prompt is being fat or skinny is a choice, and only 2 people pulled up. Okay. So is it 2 people? Let me see. Let me react. Let me shut up.
Being skinny or being fat is about willpower. It's about the environment you grow up in, sure, but who you choose to associate with, what sort of things you choose to listen to, who you choose to kind of have as your friends around you and support you. All of those things are choices that you can make that will lead you closer towards being one or the other.
I know what I do with my body. I know what I put into it day in and day out.
Honest man.
I choose not to eat some days. I choose, you know, how I want to look. And I don't fault anyone for how they want to look or how they want to be, but I think it's a choice at the end of the day. I'm very, you know, always wish-washy on how I want to be presented and if I want to gain weight or not. But the only person that's going to gain the weight at the end of the day is me and me myself.
For me, it's calories in, calories out. Go to the gym.
Facts, Lauren. Talk your shit.
Don't go to the gym, you won't get buff. I understand that.
Talk your shit. I like this girl.
Want to eat more, but even with the genetics that cause you to want to eat more, the same solution is calories in, calories out.
I think the whole choice is,
you
know, always determined.
Normally these Jubilee videos, or however the fuck you pronounce it, it's a bunch of dumbasses. I like this girl.
They are. And it's not going to just
be
a thing done overnight.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of, I think it's like breaking the barrier and breaking a lot of things, not only your body, but also breaking your mental state.
Sure.
And again, that depends on who you are and what you want to go through.
Disagreeers?
That was quick. Azo, facts.
I felt like as a toddler, I always viewed myself as big. I grew up in a very poor home, so where my mom couldn't provide the meals that she could healthily. So when we would get free meals, even then it would be canned food, and it would be very much food that's not as edible. It was food for us, yes, but.
Sorry. I had a fucking roach on my wall.
Then I felt like once it reached a point where I was old enough to try to make my own choices, I made all of the wrong choices. I wasn't eating, and I was only eating grapes and lettuce, and that was mainly because I was in a sport, and that sport just worked me out so hard. And it was to the point where I just was scared to eat. I didn't like it.
Ooh, I need a fucking ant buzzer as a fucking soundboard.
Lettuce, were you thin?
I was the thinnest I could be.
Were you still big though?
I was still big, but that was the skinniest I've ever been. And that's coming from somebody who was only eating salads that are just fruit and lettuce and water and maybe ice right before a practice.
Do you think that right now you would not be capable of becoming a thin woman if you wanted to?
I possibly would be capable of becoming a thin woman, but since I was young, I was supposed to get blood tested probably when I was very young.
Bro. Who gives
and
a
I never
fuck?
did. And they had mentioned that it could have been because of my weight and how that connects with my thyroid. I never made the connection, and I never had that leaning parent to be go and get checked out, go and do this, your weight is probably not your fault. It was always your weight is your fault, so that's your issue.
I mean, I also struggle with, thyroid and my own blood issues. I'm not quite sure, but I do see an endocrinologist and I go see a doctor. It's a choice to do the requisite steps. It's a choice to go grocery shopping instead of going to fast food when it's easy. It's a choice when you're grocery shopping to go to the outer aisles and like not go into the bread section and not go into the junk food section. These are all choices.
As a disabled woman.
Listen. I don't give a fuck. You can't disagree with that. You cannot disagree with that. Okay?
I can't do a lot of the things that people say, calories in, calories out, oh, you gotta go work out and exert it. A lot of the things that are typical, oh, this is how you lose weight, put me in the hospital. I have to navigate weight differently. I have to look at it differently. My weight is the way it is because of medication, because doctors put me in this position. And I had to learn, okay, am I going to be so—
You're the blame. This is the first, I just have to point this out. Maybe I'm just, being biased here. Do you see the instant excuse? The instant, victim, did that.
Hateful of my own body that I am going to backlash and put myself through extreme gym nights, through keeping myself from eating things that I should be able to eat. You should be able to have a balance. You should be able to go into the junk food aisle like other skinny people do still not have to worry about gaining 20 pounds.
But I don't think skinny people—
Bro, I just ate a half a dozen cookies last night. You know what happened when I went to the gym today? I still had 8 blocks of muscle in my midsection.
They this junk food aisle.
They certainly do.
They eat a lot of junk food.
Yeah.
Let's listen though. Let me hear her out.
I mean, my DoorDash would tell you otherwise.
There's a thing called set points. There's a ton of research on it that your body likes to be at specific weights. It likes to be in a specific way. So if you're fighting yourself to lose weight by not eating, over exercising, and you are damn near killing yourself to be at a specific weight, your body's unhappy.
It's important to note that a choice can be harder for people to make due to conditions in their life.
Yes.
But
Sure.
at the end of the day, it's still a choice. I could say
Talk
that
your
I
shit.
have food addiction. I look to food when I was stressed and this and that and this. And so it's harder for me to choose it than for someone who has like the perfect lifestyle, someone who has parents who are giving them this and that and this. But I definitely still acknowledge that it was my choice. At the end of the day, when I go there and I look and I see, should I order a second hamburger? I'm the one choosing whether or not I
like
order a
that.
second hamburger.
Okay. So for anybody who wants to ever call me fat phobic or whatever the fuck you guys say, I don't give a fuck that this dude's fat at all. I actually like this guy a lot more than almost anybody here because he is fat and he's being straight up honest. Yeah, I'm fat and I want to eat 2 cheeseburgers. Love that. Love that.
Hey.
What the fuck is this? Is this a Jubilee made ad in the video? Yo, I'm getting scammed.
The episode.
I would rather be skinny than fat.
Okay,
Can
come
the
on.
agreeers
Come on.
please step forward?
Come on. Stop it.
Even when your room
Oh my God, and I got a YouTube ad. Stop it. Okay. Let me shut the fuck up. Let me hear these guys. Well, these guys, no, but the disagreeers, I gotta hear. Sweet potato with raw honey is elite.
A lot of different struggles when it comes to being a bit bigger. And I have a sister that is she's 400 pounds and she struggles a lot. She has lymphedema and to shower is really, really hard. So I do think for like an overall happy life and like zero struggle, I think I'd rather be skinny.
I think that it is common in society to want to be skinny. I think the average person typically wants to be skinny. I'm actually surprised that I didn't see more people come forward.
Yo, question for you guys. Let me pause real quick. Question. Do you guys want me to have the chat on the screen, like in the corner, or no? Do you guys not care? You guys just want to on the screen or off the screen? No? Okay.
On that question, people treat you better.
Sometimes people like that.
It is what is considered the standard of beauty. Your life expectancy is longer. You tend to be healthier.
I'm also really tall. I'm 6'6", so I kind of wish I could just pick a single struggle because finding the clothes and things like that when you're bigger both ways can make it really hard. So if I was skinnier, at least that's one less thing I have to worry about. But also, I've got 2 kids and a wife, and I'm taking care of them. And as you pointed out, I definitely think that I'm at less health risks if I'm a skinnier person, if I'm a healthier person in that capacity. And I would much rather be that so that I could be around for my kids longer.
I love that.
Agreeers, please step
I love that. I like that guy. He's rocking Crocs, dude. This guy's a fucking G.
I'm speaking
6'6"?
as someone who actually was
Fuck.
a former smaller person, and I had the most body insecurities when I was small. I was constantly living in fear of gaining weight and having people tell me, "Oh, don't gain weight."
Wait.
don't
I
do
have to pause this. Is this bitch holding a cane? Hold on. She's holding a cane, talking about, okay.
living in fear of
Okay.
gaining weight and having
Let me
people
shut the
tell me,
fuck up.
"Oh, don't gain weight, don't do this, make sure that your weight is the same." And once I finally gained weight, I realized that first off, life wasn't over. I didn't feel any need to not engage in life the previous way that I had, and the attention that I got was different. But even as a smaller person, you get negative attention. And rather than trying to control my body to avoid that negative attention, I would prefer to address the situation as a society, make it more accessible for everybody to where we aren't feeling like I have to be a certain way that's normal in order to be treated like a human being and respected.
If I could counter, because I was a bit bigger when I was younger, and that's when I was the most insecure. I would look in the mirror. I did have family members that were skinny, but then I had a family member that was much bigger. And just the way that I perceived myself, I hated it, and I even became anorexic too.
I have a Twitch, but I'm not live on it right now.
Skinny always equates to being healthy.
It's just my name.
Absolutely.
I am fairly skinny. I'm 6'5". I'm 140 pounds last time I checked, and I'm
guys are fucking
severely
huge.
underweight. And I know about this on a day-to-day basis. That being said, I don't know where I'd want to lean at an appropriate weight level, but I think it's important to understand for some skinny people, we're not living a great life by any means. And sometimes I feel like that's always kind of
What's up,
lost
B?
in translation when they see someone who's really skinny.
I guess it depends on what you mean when you think of the term skinny. Are you thinking of just like an average weight person, or are you thinking of how you are now?
I'm the average weight for like women in America.
I like-
So
like that's-
if we're
Oh
talking
my
about
God.
average, like I'm gonna be the closest. If your biggest priority is to be at a
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute now. Something ain't right. Let's
smaller body,
run this one back.
like I'm gonna be the closest.
I like-
So
like, that's
if we're talking about an average, like
Talking about an average, I'm gonna be the closest to that weight. Okay. 170. I'm thinking 230. 230.
I'm gonna be the closest. If your
No disrespect,
biggest
though. I'm just
priority is to be at a
saying what it
smaller
is.
Body, you need to reassess your priorities.
Yeah.
'cause
Not focused on health.
Yeah.
And the immediate tie between skinniness and health, like you emphasized, there is such a gap between the research, because the research has a huge fat phobic bias in it, and there has been research that shows that they aren't, even especially during, let's say, COVID and the correlation between obesity. They rushed through those studies so fast because in society's mind, oh, of course a fat person is going to equal someone who's going to get sick faster, is going to get sick easier. It was an easy jump. So they didn't do all of the testing that they were supposed to do. They didn't check their bias.
So
They
if
didn't
by
check.
saying the study is biased, you're saying that the study didn't account for the variable that obesity may also take a factor into. It's just that there's so many variables in humanity that these pharmaceutical companies could only account for so many during their trials. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're biased. However, you want to talk about bias in studies, actually recently we've been
I'm sorry.
off
This is my problem with these Jubilee videos. The prompt is I would rather be skinny than fat, and we're talking about studies and like, why did we go off topic here?
opposite. So for instance, a lot of our studies have been based on BMI, and so we've been showing that, oh, fat people aren't necessarily extremely unhealthy if we look at people with a certain BMI. However, bodybuilders also have a really high BMI, and so they get counted into that category. And so it wasn't until very recently that they equated for that mistake, and it shows, oh my goodness, being fat is actually extremely unhealthy, like way, way more unhealthy than we ever realized.
You can't gauge health by looking at somebody.
Yeah.
Like none of my health issues.
Bro, yes, this is my fucking problem with these people. They live in some clown world. You cannot, let me hear what she just said.
You can't gauge health by looking at somebody.
Dog, yes, you fucking can. If I look at somebody who's sitting at a nice 15% body fat with a nice lean amount of muscle tissue, I'm going to go to say you are a healthy individual. If you have 2 asses, bro, like, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
Yeah, like,
let's just run
my
it.
health issues, all of them precipitated my weight gain. But I always get assumed, oh, don't you want to be skinny so that you don't have a cane anymore and you don't feel the way you feel? And it's like, no, because I have lupus and I'm always going to feel like this. Like, I have CRPS. It's going to deteriorate. It's going to continue.
America has an obesity problem.
Okay. We just got to add, didn't we? If everybody does not walk forward on this prompt, okay, why are these people, okay. Every single person should statistically be walking forward. Come on, everybody.
Can I sit next to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, that girl's just trying to be
think
different.
it's
They all
pretty clear.
agree.
You look at the weight of
They
the
all
average
agree.
American, you see how obesity has affected not just children. I mean, the fact that we have more younger and younger people who are looking heavier and heavier, and you see that, like, you know, the way that weight affects us as a society, and you compare that to how we were in the past. Now, not that we should always, you know, we shouldn't compare ourselves to the era of the Great Depression when people just couldn't find food, of course, but people are heavier now in an unhealthy way, and people are eating unhealthy. They are eating it through unhealthy access to food. They're eating diets high in seed oils. They're eating high corn syrup. They're doing all this kind of stuff that's not good for them that we didn't used to do.
Fuck the seed oils and corn syrup, bro. It's just the sugar and calories. Come on, this guy's starting to lose me.
It's not a good thing. It's an epidemic. It needs to be quashed in some capacity.
There's so much access to just anything. Like, it's so crazy these days, and you know, I'm so surprised that we're actually supporting a lot of this, you know, and there's always people like, you know, like, it's fine that we have like 3 McDonald's like on the same street. And it's just like, we don't think that this is adding to the problem.
What I think is really sad about that is so many people in America just see the profit in it. I don't want to say I know that these people know the problem, but it's like, how can you not see the problem? They have to see it and just not care. They have to just be like, well, we're gaining profit. Do you see how much this McDonald's is making? Put another one across the street. Like, that's just like how it is.
The corporations, it's the medical industry. Having a fat country makes us money.
It doesn't help that our cities aren't walkable either. America is a country of non-walkable cities.
Wait. This bitch never surprises me. Listen up.
It's the medical industry. Having a fat country makes us money.
It doesn't help that our cities are
Having a wow. Let me shut up and just keep listening.
America is a country of non-walkable cities.
That is why I wavered a little bit, because I think we have a problem with how to treat obesity. I think we have a problem with how to make it so that it is not an epidemic. This is a systemic thing, that we are in a society and in an environment that breeds this. And we are doing it to ourselves, we are doing it to our children, and our corporations and our industries are doing it to us, and they aren't having to take responsibility.
And they're encouraging it with meat.
Okay. Guys, listen up. I want you guys to really listen to me for a second. When you guys hear me on my lives or in my videos talk about people don't know how to take accountability, once you relinquish that, you know, blame on other people and take accountability, your life will change. Do you notice how every single one of these people who are fat, okay, I'm just saying it, are coming up with blatant excuses over and over again? It's the corporations, it's the doctors, it's this, it's that, sure. But at the end of the day, we all now have access to what? Social media, technology, knowledge. It is a pure individual choice once you are above the age of 18 and you're out of mommy and daddy's house to do what you want with your body. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, so
And the mukbangs, that was literally
Take note of all the excuses.
All those videos that just come up to trends for people
not
to do
only
it
the
as well.
mukbangs, but also like
Mukbang?
Lizzo and other big like
I thought it was
media.
mukbang.
I don't know. I'm sorry. There's a big
difference
between the people who are telling people go out and get fat versus a
I love
Lizzo who's
myself
saying
fat.
accept me the way I am.
She's not just saying accept me the way I am. She's dressing extremely scantily clad and then saying if you don't think that it's normal for a morbidly obese person to be wearing a G-string in the middle of public, then you're the problem. And they're trying to normalize society to this obese culture, which is extremely unhealthy.
What's up, Emma?
An obese culture.
A culture which like normalizes
I'm obese
obesity.
and I haven't even heard that.
Well, obesity is already normal, so.
It's. Well, I don't think it should be normalized, and it wasn't normal.
But
just a couple
what's the
decades
difference
ago.
between a obese
She's not
person,
wrong.
myself, walking around in a G-string or a bathing suit, as I do almost every day, and a skinny person? Like,
Because it's unattractive. Let's just be fucking real here, guys. Let me be the elephant in the room here. Why is it less attractive when somebody who is 300 pounds wears something very revealing as opposed to somebody who doesn't? I have nothing against people who are overweight. Nothing. But let's not be fucking absurd here. Let's be real. Let's be real.
is it okay that the skinny person is doing that?
I don't think so, but
I don't think
that's for other reasons. probably.
I get the whole in public thing.
to say that when Lizzo does it is the same as a Victoria's Secret angel
Why
is just not the
shouldn't it be,
same.
Yeah, what's the
'Cause
difference?
What do you mean? Are you telling me they look? You're telling me it doesn't.
I'm not saying they look the same.
Well,
but
I
I'm
mean,
saying
Lizzo
what's
goes
the
on
different
stage.
What's the
message?
implication? So if I walk down the street, so I'm a runway model. I'm a print and runway model. I have walked down a runway in a thong. So me doing that is shameful, but a skinny model is
Like a
okay.
Victoria's Secret
I didn't.
model.
I don't know if I use the phrase shameful,
Problematic.
but I don't think that we as a society should be modeling obesity.
But I'm not
So she
modeling-
walks the aisle, yet she has a fucking cane. I'm not even trying to be rude here. I'm just pointing out the obvious, and it might come off as rude.
I'm modeling
Just
the
being
lingerie
logical.
that obese people need to be able to have availability to buy.
So they've always had the ability to buy
we have not.
lingerie.
If you would have toured
No.
a single underwear
Maybe she has an
for
injury right now.
$20,
Let me give her the benefit of
you
the
go to,
doubt.
like any other Walmart, any Target, and like all these underwears are on special for like $5 to like $20 and stuff.
Well,
and
it does
it's
take
like
more fabric to make it.
It does take more fabric
They
to make
use
it,
that
but
as
it's-
an excuse, but
that
you
would-
make yards of fabric
Yeah.
for gowns. You, like,
Is a
it's-
small a different price than an extra large or a large?
It is.
And
yeah,
we're willing-
for 3XL shirts, I got to pay more money.
I think people view models and Instagram people
I
and
don't
all
play
of us
that
who are
shit.
plus size and proud as we're pushing this obese lifestyle.
Yes.
No, I'm pushing the fact that this is what I live in. This is my life, and I need other people who feel this way to say, hey, I want to be able to wear clothes that look cute too.
Okay, but at the end of the day, it is unhealthy. So, like, okay.
I do think there's a problem with obesity in America, but I think it's a first world country problem because it's spread across the globe. And also, I don't see it as a problem. I do feel like health-wise, people should try to be healthier, but there's no perfect body. There's no perfect person. There's no perfect size. And there's people who are underweight. There's a lot of them. And then there's a lot of people who are overweight. So I really don't see it as like a problem. But just to touch on what you were saying, because I am in the fashion industry,
not
I
buying
want to
it.
become a fashion designer. My dad was one. And they buy 10 rolls of fabric for one price. So it really doesn't cost that much to make underwear.
Sure, but don't you also have to worry about distribution? I mean, if the average person is, let's say, in between small, medium, large, and you're sending clothes out for those, you know you could send out 10,000 of this, 10,000 of that, 10,000 of that. You can't always send out 10,000 3XLs because you're not going to have that many people fitting in the 3XL.
No, because there's somebody who works in marketing and they research that area. There's a census. So we have a database of what type of people are there.
Is
Now,
she
we
saying
don't
facts?
make
That kinda
employees
sounds
there,
like
but
it could
we
be true.
know the type of people that live in that area and the type of the people that come and visit the area. So that person is doing their job accordingly, and usually large sizes are sold out.
Okay, so somebody brought up the food desert earlier. I can't even think of an area that would have a so-called food desert.
Sorry, can someone explain, like maybe just for my ignorance, I'm
Like
guessing a
food
food desert is just there's no food anywhere?
No, it's healthy options for food. So you can go into certain low-income areas and you'll see a Starbucks, a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, but there's no Trader Joe's.
A
Popeyes is getting saucy.
Okay, let's hear what she has to say here. Let me hear what she has to say here. I gotta get YouTube Premium, my fault.
Actually, properly, there isn't any, like for a long period of driving, there's one gas station and a liquor store. Then you have to drive 2 more miles to hit the next grocery store.
But with the food desert, it's not just that there can be a grocery store there, but if I'm making minimum wage, I'm not gonna spend all of my money on what is gonna last me 2 meals versus what's gonna last me an entire week.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, again, I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm just being real. Basically, what she's saying is I'd rather spend my money on shit food to eat more because it tastes good rather than spend my money to go towards my health. That is a choice. She's choosing the objectively wrong choice. That's all I'm saying. I'm just being a commentator here and calling out what's real.
Or if I'm on EBT and I have specific things that I have to choose to buy versus what I can't buy.
Yeah. I'm born and raised in Colorado. In the outskirts, there's so many small towns that you don't.
She said if I made my money at the grocery store making minimum wage, I would rather not spend my money on something that can last me 2 meals when it can make me 5 meals.
Even know that they're there. Most of them you won't see on a map, but if you're from there, then you'll know, and they all have to drive a decent amount to be able to go to.
It's not always an easy choice, but it is a choice.
But how often are you going grocery shopping? Maybe like once every 2 weeks would be typically normal. So you have to do a drive once every.
Once a week.
So you're making a drive once.
And anybody who wants to make an excuse and say, oh no, they don't have money, okay, so why is the obesity problem so high nowadays than it was back then? People made minimum wage since the dawn of human time. Ever since people were working, there was always somebody making the cheapest amount of money.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So drive.
Fuck your argument.
Yeah, like what if I don't have a car?
I was like, I don't drive. And if you don't have, usually these food deserts also have very poor public transportation options.
Yeah.
So you are left with people who are stranded.
Yeah, but then what are they eating at all?
Yeah.
Unhealthy crap.
Like,
no, but how are they surviving
they're
at
going
all?
through the drive-through. They don't got a car to go to the drive-through.
Exactly.
They usually, what I've seen when I go to those rural towns and those rural places is they have chickens and they have animals.
Right.
And guess what? You can get some
Fast food being more accessible. Yes, it's more accessible, which means it's more easy. It doesn't mean it's the only thing. It's just more accessible. There's more of it.
Having eggs and protein and things like that. I think I would be healthier if I lived rurally. In fact, my wife and I are trying to leave the state so we're not near all the Uber Eats and all the.
I like this guy. Smart man. This guy fucking has accountability, man. He shows up for himself.
Was not as
in some aspects
significant as, say, in LA. And we talk about like food deserts and stuff. The nearest Walmart where I grew up was 45 minutes in any direction. The nearest McDonald's was nowhere near to be seen for a long time. So when I hear these, like, and there could be some evidence there as like the obesity problem is very low lift.
Were there grocery stores in your small town?
Yes.
Exactly.
Like I'm like kind of baffled by the
Thank you.
Maybe I just need to go out there and like experience the food deserts, but like there was grocery stores where I grew up. Just because we lived in the middle of nowhere, it doesn't mean we didn't have access to food. And actually, and I have to agree, we did have access to healthy food, very healthy food all the time. I don't think this is big of an issue in my personal opinion.
Fat shaming.
And this is what I'm saying. The guy said like, oh, grow up on EBT. Okay, I grew up with my mom and my sister. We literally had bridge cards. So my mom was literally on government assistance when we got food. Why did I not grow up fat? Why did my mom not be fat? Why was my sister not fat? Why were we not fat? We didn't have that much money. We had government assistance. We couldn't buy certain foods. Why were we not fat? Okay, that's all I'm saying. These guys are just giving fucking excuses, all right?
Worse than skinny shaming.
And for anybody who doesn't know what government assistance is, yeah, you can't buy certain things, but that doesn't mean like you can only buy junk food, no healthy food. So it's just a cope. Yeah, my mom got good groceries because she was fucking aware.
So I do agree that fat shaming.
Excuse me. I'm sorry for interrupting the video. Let's hear this prompt again.
I think this is.
Fat shaming is worse than skinny shaming. Okay, there should be a fucking double standard here. Why is everybody not coming? Okay.
So I do
Let's
agree
listen.
that fat
Let's
shaming is worse than skinny shaming. Just overall, entirely, the way that people like comment on people's weight compared to somebody skinny, they usually don't comment on somebody skinny. Yeah. They don't think there's something wrong with them. They don't, like, they'll maybe say like, oh, you're very thin. Do you want to eat a cheeseburger? But that's not as bad as telling somebody you eat 10, stop. And you don't even know that they're eating 10.
Fat shaming is a systemic problem. You're not gonna not get a job because you're too skinny. Skinny bodies are praised in our society, whereas fat bodies. Like, I don't get it.
Okay, let me chime in here real quick because I'm reading what you guys are saying. Let me chime in real quick. If you are seriously poor and you do not have enough money to eat, you will be skinny, and that is not your fault. Some people choose to be skinny. Some people are dead ass poor as fuck and they cannot afford food. When you are fat, that means you are as gluttony. You are overindulging in food. You are choosing to eat that much food. Nothing is forcing you to eat that much food. So they're both stupid. I don't think you should be shitting on anybody for being super skinny or super fat, just unsolicitedly. They're both wrong, but
as often as
let's listen.
Other people,
Let's listen.
But I get a lot of comments on my Instagram that are saying like, you're really beautiful, but you would look a lot better if you lost 50, 60 pounds.
That's like one truth and a lie, bro. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? I'm just talking shit.
I always get a lot of comments on is my masculinity as a man because of how skinny I am. It's always something that I've always kind of dealt with. My favorite comment is always, I look like a sickly, ill Victorian child. And
that's horrible.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that.
No.
No, bro, if I was on this show, I'd be dying at what these people are saying.
It doesn't bother me as much, but this idea that skinny people can't also get these kind of comments are just kind of mind-blowing. That doesn't mean that they're...
Hear me out, though. Hear me out. Hear me out. And listen up, before I say this, let me just preface this, bro. I don't like dudes, but imagine if this dude had like 30 or 40 pounds of lean muscle on him. This guy would be a good-looking dude. Ladies, agree or disagree? I know the eyes and he looks really skinny, but imagine if he had like 30 pounds of muscle on him. This would be a good-looking guy. He's got good hair, tattoos, paints his nails a bit, but hey, do what he wants.
That one side is getting it worse than the other. I think that there are both sides getting piled on, just at different varying degrees.
I think we're conflating two things as well. So there's a difference between...
But let's be so real here. Let me just kick this. I guarantee all these people who are overweight, if they lost, the weight they need to lose, I guarantee they would all be, the ladies would be attractive. I bet the dudes would be handsome. All of them.
Fat shaming and fat discrimination. Fat shaming is an aspect of fat discrimination, but some of the things you were touching on are specifically societal and systemic fat discrimination that goes into our medical system. It goes into employment. It goes into all of our civil rights. As fat people, that skinny people don't necessarily have that same issue. And I come from cultures where they straight out called out skinny people. Oh, you look like bones. Oh, flaca. All of that. So I watched my cousins go through it. I went through it when I would get too skinny. As people, we are just too scrutinized when it comes to our bodies. We don't let people live.
But I think that's a good point. You said you were called skin and bones when you got
my cousin.
But your cousin. So people using shame as a motivator to get your cousin to not be too skinny. Shame as a motivator is a powerful tool. So the reason I sit over there is fat shaming worse than skinny shaming. Well, you could argue that shaming somebody in order to motivate them towards a healthy lifestyle is actually a good thing. Now, I have a lot of empathy because hearing your story about how you've been struggling with this since you were a child.
Since I was like a newborn baby, like health just...
Oh my God. Dude, this girl's speaking facts, okay? Let me just be so front here. She's speaking facts.
On that end where I've never known anything about being skinny or being fit or being athletic. I've never known anything about that.
Probably your situation, I don't think shame necessarily would motivate you, but for somebody where it is a option, so for instance, if you watch TLC, you watch My 600-Pound Life, 1,000-Pound Sisters, Family by the Ton, all of them can do it. All of them have had this systemic issue of weight gain.
Though I have watched those like as a younger person, and it would make me feel disgusted with me when I was a kid, so it would make me worse, and it made my mental health worse. Because then I'm like, is that how like everybody automatically views me as just like somebody who's oversized and could possibly never even attain it because it's so just common?
I don't think we should shame anyone to do anything.
No.
I think everyone deserves to like themselves enough to like enjoy life. And if you do that as a fat person, okay. If you do it as a skinny person, also chill. It's not my business.
Shame is a broad category. I do think shame works in some cases.
I agree with the girl to an extent.
Fat shaming towards me and bad fat shaming. Bad fat shaming is just, somebody just saying you're fat, there's like that. That doesn't really work. But what does work is somebody looking at me and saying, don't you want to be around for your kids? And that
Facts.
works. That works.
Yeah, like, do you
Facts.
consider that shaming?
I do. I think that's shaming. I think they were telling me like you should lose weight to be around for your children.
This is 1000% facts.
Like an attempt to like try and say something bad about me.
Like they're personalizing it towards you and towards your kids. Like,
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but I think
That's a pain
that
point
worked.
right
I
there.
think
That's
that
a real
worked. That
pain
really
point.
encouraged me to go to the gym and start trying to lose weight.
But that's you though.
Sure.
Like,
I think you have to be specific to the person.
I think that's one thing is it depends on the person.
Sure.
And if someone wants to shame me and like, you know, it depends on the person. I've been shamed a couple times and it's kicked me into gear to try to gain weight, but it's still really hard.
Sure.
And it's, you know, it depends on who you are, I think.
When you were making a comment about people questioning your masculinity, I get the question of actually looking like a woman all the time, and it's always in play. I always get compared to like male characters, especially when I don't wear makeup, and that's because I don't have boobs, and I can't help that, but it's definitely really, really hard to like have people tell you constantly, like, here's the standard of how a woman should look, and you don't look like that, without even saying it. They don't say it, they're categorizing me. They're making fun of me, saying that I look like this one soccer player or something. And you know, I think it's funny, but also shame can also be hard, because I can see what you
Okay,
mean.
but
Sometimes
if this girl even gained weight, her hoo-ha's wouldn't get bigger. So she's going, like, her point right there was women genetics and her genetics. Even if she gained weight, like, it, you know what I mean? So that is, I don't really agree with that.
motivate you when it's out of love,
Yes,
but when it's out
that's
of
the
pain,
difference.
and when it's out of like not knowing someone
Yeah.
and just saying it, then
Yeah, the people who said that to me about
Not like
kids
that,
were
though.
not
You guys know what I'm saying. Not like,
people who were close to me and I knew cared about me, who I had a conversation with. So I do think it matters who says it, but I still would consider it to an extent shaming. And I'm okay with that. I think there is good shame. I think sometimes it helps motivate people in the right way.
The body positivity movement.
and this is the thing. When you're skinny, most of these girls here are 1, 2, you got 3 skinny girls. Okay. The skinny people, it would be a minimal change. Yeah, they're gonna get big, but it's not like, bro, they're not fucking, you know what I mean? They're not getting massive. But these skinny people, they're skinny, but they're not out of shape, okay? I want to pause at this prompt real quick. The people who are overweight, they have health complications, or they're going too soon. They have higher risk for disease and illness. The skinny people, these people aren't even necessarily, they don't really look too unhealthy. The black girl and the white girl in the dress, they actually look fairly healthy. The girl in the yellow, she's just, I mean, is it unhealthy though?
Promotes childhood obesity. Diet.
Oh, that was a
culture
Patreon exclusive. Okay, so diet culture has positive effects. Okay. Take that in. Diet culture has positive effects.
Positive effects.
Let's see. Ooh.
I guess for me, diet culture is an important thing to have for people in the world. What I've realized after we're about to finish this up is there wasn't a lot of talk on skinny culture or like skinny people as a whole. Maybe that's because of how the prompt is. But I think it's important if we're going to give positivity to kids who are obese, I think it's important to give them the options to, you know, say if they want to lose weight, they can. And I don't see a problem with that in any real sense.
Facts,
I think
bro.
that diet culture is a reason that a lot of people struggle with weight problems in
Wait.
the first place. There's a reason that a lot of
Okay,
people
sorry, I thought I seen
struggle
something.
with weight problems in the first place. I have even struggled with my own weight issues in the past, and I was like struggling kind of with depriving myself too much because I had a trainer, and then I started binge eating. And as soon as I had like a mental break where I was like physically incapable of stopping myself from putting food in my mouth, I immediately went to see a doctor, and that doctor told me to read a book called Intuitive Eating, and it wildly changed my life. And it was about getting past diet culture and about how so many people ruin their lives with diet culture. And you see it with like somebody talked about eating grapes and lettuce, and it's grapes and lettuce, and it's just like it's this extreme, and so you go from one extreme and then you break, and then you go to the other extreme, and so like I was in my extreme, I broke, so that's why I'm anti-diet culture.
Yeah, I tried keto for a while. And that's the thing about what I realized is like that fad diet kind of stuff. And yeah, did I lose weight? I absolutely lost weight, sure. I didn't keep it off. And the reason I didn't keep it off is because diet culture is about turning the word diet from your overall eating into an activity that takes place over a period of time. A diet should not be something you do from January until May of next year.
Facts.
Diet is what you continually eat, is what you continue to put
Facts.
into
I
yourself.
like
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah, so my issue with diet culture is this idea of like, oh, I've got this perfect solution for you, man. All you got to do is this, and this, and that. And it's like, no. Like, the reality is,
I agree with
there
him.
are good, correct, and objective ways, I think, for a lot of people to eat. And yes, everybody has to have some variations here and there. There's no one bag fix all, and diet culture is so much about trying to say, like,
Facts.
all you got to do is just eat cheese puffs every day for the rest of your life. And
it's easy.
yeah. And so that's why I think diet culture doesn't help.
Facts. I do agree because everybody does promote these different diets, and the diets don't necessarily work because it's this time frame thing. Every human needs to be eating objectively the same food, no matter boy, girl, fucking anything. Any race, any color. Whole foods. Foods that came from an animal, foods that came from the ground. That is literally it. No processed foods, none of this shit. So it's not about like cutting out carbs or cutting out it's just whatever you want to eat as long as it came from an animal or the ground, and you're good. You are good. Any type of meat, chicken, shit like that, and then any type of fruit, rice, potatoes, avocados, things that came from the ground. That's human food. It's not even diet food. That's not a diet. That's just human food. That's what we've been eating for fucking thousands of years. Hunting and gathering.
Have the perfect answer. They have
not
the
fucking
perfect
Uber Eats and
solution to
DoorDash.
lose weight. Or diet isn't just losing weight; it's also gaining weight. You know, and
Facts,
I think
Stacey.
a lot of people. Maybe it's just for me, but when I diet, it's actually.
Oh my God. Lo siento. Lo siento. I'm literally giving FanDuel free
The opposite of fasting. I'm trying to eat
advertising.
more. I'm trying to gain more. And I think people forget that when it comes to diet. When people instantly hear the word diet, they think losing weight. And I don't think that should always be the case.
I've been on
Facts.
a lot of diets.
I kind of agree
I've
with
been
that.
on diets for myself. I've been put on diets, and I've been put on diets by my coaches. So when I was young, I felt like it was more so like fasting, not eating, but working out. And maybe hopefully eating once you get home as a reward. And then when it became like, oh,
So lack of
you're
education,
a
that's
good
all.
person in the team to like be the big person, be the defender, be buff. So it was like, now we have to gain all this weight and we have to pound you out. So it was like, I had to eat like 5 meals in a day. And I felt so gross because I was just like, I've never had to like pull out like a bar or something and like eat it during class and be like, I have to eat this because it's part of my diet.
When we talk about diet culture, we're talking about not your diet as a whole. It's usually
I don't like this
a fad
prompt
diet
anymore.
Is what we're talking about when we're talking about diet culture.
These
And
people are just talking about how they were, or that girl specifically, talking about how she did it back in the day. It's like, okay, you did it for sports. You're a grown, you are a grown girl now. You're a big girl. Figuratively and literally, like this is in your choice now.
For me
You know what I mean?
personally, I know that I've seen
It's in your
a
hands.
lot of, especially women in my life, going on fad diets that are just not sustainable. And that's kind of the purpose of diet culture, is that it's not a sustainable thing.
But we're all talking about like mainstream, like keto, like gluten-free. And I think everyone's just polarized on these certain ones that I believe that you should eat gluten. I think if you take it out of your diet, you're actually going to get sick.
Unless you
Unless celiacs, no, like, yeah.
It goes back to like what she said, which is.
The fuck did he just say? Wait. Back it the fuck up. What did he just say?
Issue, in my personal opinion. Healthy food all the time. I don't think this.
Wait, how did we just get sent back all the way? Holy shit.
Issues in the past, and I was like.
And yes, everybody has to have some. It's like, no. Like,
wait, how did it just?
You're always going to get those people who have the perfect answer. They have the perfect solution to either lose weight, or diet isn't just losing weight; it's also gaining weight. You know, and I think a lot of people. Maybe it's just for me, but when I diet, it's actually not the opposite of fasting. I'm trying to eat more. I'm trying to gain more. And
Yeah, wait,
think
I just
people
fucking accidentally skipped. I'm trying to find that
forget
part.
that when it comes to diet, when people instantly hear the word diet, they think losing weight. And I
Did
don't
we hear
think
this
that should
already?
always be the case.
I've been on a lot of diets.
Oh, yeah,
I've been on
okay.
diets for myself.
Gluten. I think if you polarize on these certain ones that I believe that you should eat gluten. I think if you take it out of your diet, you're actually going to get sick.
Unless you.
Okay, what the fuck is this guy talking about? The topic is diet culture has positive effects. What is this dude talking about?
Celiacs, no, like, yeah.
It goes back to like what she said, which is, intuitive eating.
So what is the positive you think you've seen for people from diet culture, which I think, and I guess, what do you consider diet culture?
I guess like diet culture to me is the resources you need to get to where you want to be in your life, in your body. That's how I've always viewed diet culture.
By dieting, do you mean like journaling what you're eating?
Yeah, if you want to journal, if you want to, talk to a therapist, if you want to work out, if you want to see a doctor, if you want to go on meds, like everyone's
But
always...
it's not being super, like when you diet, you're not being like, I'm completely cutting out.
Why the fuck are we acting like it's the hardest thing in the world to just eat whole foods? Dude, I'm actually starting to my brain's starting to fucking smoke. The gears aren't turning anymore. Journal, therapist, bro. Go to the store and refrain from buying chips. Grab your hand and pull it back. I don't understand. This is actually starting to get me slightly triggered.
Carbs, or I'm completely doing this, right?
You're lemon water only.
Not really, but you know what I mean.
Your macros and your micros and you're calculating.
Like I guess if you're asking if I know how many calories I have to eat.
Rennie, you know what I fucking mean?
When most people talk about diet culture, they've done some sort of extremely restrictive thing, and when you do something really restrictive, it changes your brain chemistry and the way that you think about food, and it makes you obsessive over food, and then, but it sounds like the way that you're doing it is extremely healthy because you're not depriving your body.
Yo, real talk, really off topic, sorry to pause it. This girl gives me really creepy vibes. Like, I don't know if it's like narcissistic, if that's the trait, but like just very, I don't know. She's saying real shit, but like it's kind of creepy.
That just goes back to like you guys.
The girl in the red.
Extremes of diet culture.
Diet culture is one thing, and then a healthy lifestyle,
having a
and
healthy
intuitive
diet
eating type thing are two different things.
All right.
I personally don't.
Wait. What did she just say? Listen to the girl. Listen. They're both black. Listen to the girl on the right.
Healthy lifestyle,
having a
and
healthy
intuitive
diet
eating type thing are two.
Okay. Let me replay it again. 1 second.
Is one thing, and then a healthy lifestyle,
having a
and
healthy
intuitive
diet
eating type thing are two different things.
Healthy diet. So she did just say healthy diet is different than that, meaning she likes it more, but she stayed back for the diet culture. But she just said diet. Okay.
I personally don't think of living a healthy lifestyle as a diet.
You've been in like a model.
Facts.
Series. Do you
I
see
agree with
diet
her.
Culture and how has it impacted space?
There was a point in my life, like when I was a junior in high school, where the person that I was with at the time, he's like 6'6" and super tall. And so, the mom was like, hey, like my son is gonna go audition to this big agency, which is still big to this day.
I swear to God, I'm not rage
you
baiting.
should come. So I went, and I weighed 115 pounds, and I was a D cup, and they said that I weighed too much. And so seeing that really struck me in the beginning with the negative part of
Rennie, what are we talking about, right? You're talking about back in the day, junior year of high school. You're a grown adult now. Lock it the fuck in. What are we doing? You're a big girl.
Just kind of went into this spiral of like, okay, well, if I'm too big, then what are people doing to not be this size? Like how can I make it to do what I want to do?
Shut up.
This is my
Bad,
limitation.
bro. I don't give a
to
fuck
it.
about
It
losing
took
somebody who
years
watches my
later to
shit. You're
realize,
out of here,
like,
buddy.
shit, I was really disciplining myself for no apparent reason except for this underlying feeling from years ago that I could never get rid of.
Okay.
When you're talking about like
So-
discipline, I think it can be really positive with dieting and like intaking your calories, but for me,
What she's saying is I have personal issues that I haven't gotten over yet, so I'm going to come on here and try to give my points and talk to these prompts in a way that's going to be generalized for everybody. But really, I'm just going to talk about my personal problems and how I haven't gotten over them. That's all this girl's saying. That's all most of these people are saying. Back in the day.
Personally, and I'm a very specific case, seeing those numbers and knowing that I couldn't achieve it because I didn't have the appetite was also just so saddening to me, because reading the bare minimum of what a woman needs, 5'5" at my age, I was like, that's not that much, and I still couldn't eat it at the time, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? There's different ways to motivate people, and one of them is out of pain and anger, and I feel like a lot of the diet culture, whether it's for positive or negative, is just trying to gear into that. And I just am more about being healthy.
I hear diet and I think of something that's positive, and it's been positive to me, and you know, it's something I'm always trying to achieve. I guess like if we were to redo the same exact question, I may hesitate and not walk across the line. I guess I'll never know, but hearing these perspectives, were
Who's
really
got
good 'cause
running
I
shoes?
probably didn't know as much about the extremes.
I want to thank all of you for.
Oh, the girl right here. Wait. I want to go back and listen to some real quick.
That's positive, and it's been positive to me. And
Okay, I like what this guy just said, but I agree and disagree. He said, I look at diet in a positive. That's the end of the video anyways. Okay. But he said, I look at diet as a positive. It worked for me, yada, yada, yada. Most of these people who just said that diet is not positive, which is everybody but that one dude, they're going off of based of how they feel. Well, I feel. They're not going off of objective. This is what I'm saying. These like Jubilee videos, it's just people who feel different ways. Yeah, well, I feel. Okay, what is it? Like, let's go objectively. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, you got to realize that most of the time, when these people are talking about the prompts, and we know which people I'm talking about, it's just a fucking excuse. It's all cope. It's all excuse. They all do that, and I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm just calling out what I'm seeing and what you guys are hearing. You know what I mean? They sound very repetitive. I did the one like 2 weeks ago. It was the fat versus fit. It was like the jack dudes and the not jack dudes. And it was like the same thing. All those dudes were literally just fucking coping or saying, I feel, you know, back when I was younger. Okay, buddy. Back when I was younger, I was like 100 pounds in high school. Back when I was younger, I was skinny as fuck. I got picked on for being skinny all the time. Not skinny anymore. Fuck happened. Oh, wait, I grew up. I was like, oh shit, I don't want to be skinny anymore. Started Uber Eats and started DoorDash and started getting fat. And then said, oh, and I want to come back to what they said about the shaming prompt. Okay. People always ask me, Jason, how did you start getting in shape? I had my shirt off one day in my kitchen. My dad said, dude, you're getting kind of fat. He was joking. Like, he wasn't being for real. Maybe he was. He sounded like he was joking. But I took it serious. And I was like, damn, other people are starting to notice. Like, I got to fucking change. And I changed. It's not bullying. That's not bullying at all. If you go up to some random person on the street or see some random person on social media and you're like, oh, you're fat, you're this, I mean, I don't got time to be telling people that. I don't give a fuck. I say it all the time. I don't care if you're fat. But if it's somebody in my life who I'm starting to see let themselves go, yeah, you're getting told something. I'd be a dickhead if I seen somebody getting big and then was like, just letting it slide. Like, hell no, bro. Hell no. Even if one of my boys were like going through a shitty time in life and I started seeing them like gain some weight, I get it, you're going through some times in life, but I would say something for sure. It's not even a question. Anybody who says, oh, that's rude, you can't do that, I'd say you're probably a pretty shitty friend. You're probably a shitty friend. And I've had friends who were bigger. And guess what now? Guess what? Guess what happens when we start talking gym? And guess what happens when we start talking nutrition? We start hitting the gym together. Now my boys got abs. The boys who used to be overweight. Yeah. Oh, they got it now. You know what I mean? Sometimes negative creates positive actions. Yeah, they do. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. But again, a lot of people just go based off of how they feel. And as soon as they feel hurt or they feel a certain way about a statement, they don't want to continue, you know, they feel some type of way.